On the coldest night of the year, when the wind howled like a warning and the snow buried every road, one cowboy opened a door he almost walked past. Inside that cabin, a single candle burned. And by morning, 3 lives would be changed forever. But what happened that night is something no one ever expected. Backhand index pointing right before the story continues. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, because stories like this deserve to be remembered. The snow had been falling for days. Not the soft, gentle kind, but the heavy, cruel kind that swallowed trails, erased footprints, and turned the world into a white prison. The mountains stood dark and unmoving, as if watching every soul brave enough to travel through them. A lone cowboy rode slowly along the frozen path. His coat was thick, his hat pulled low, and his face carved by years of hardship. He wasn't afraid of storms. He had survived worse. But something about this night felt different, heavier. That's when he saw the cabin. Old. Crooked. Almost forgotten by the world. Most men would have kept writing. He almost did. The light that shouldn't have been there. As he passed the cabin, something stopped him. A flicker. A single candlelight glowing through a frost-covered window. No one lived this far out. Not anymore. The cowboy slowed his horse. Snow creaked beneath his boots as he dismounted. The wind cut through him like a blade, but the light pulled him forward. He stepped onto the wooden porch. That's when he heard it. A soft sound. Not the wind. A child's cough. Inside the cabin. The door creaked open. Inside, the air was thin and cold. A woman sat at a rough wooden table, her hands trembling as she broke pieces of dry bread. 2 boys sat beside her, their faces pale, eyes hollow with hunger. Between them, a single candle. It was all they had. The woman looked up, fear flashing across her face. Strangers didn't bring good news in these parts. The cowboy removed his hat slowly. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said. "I just saw the light." The woman's eyes filled with tears she had no strength left to hide. Her name was Eliza. Her husband had died the previous winter, caught in an avalanche while trying to earn money in town. Since then, survival had become a daily battle. Food was scarce. Firewood was almost gone. And the boys Samuel and Noah had been sick for days. No neighbors. No family nearby. Just snow. And silence. The cowboy listened without interrupting. His jaw tightened, not with anger, but with something deeper. Regret. He had passed cabins like this before. He had never stopped. The choice. He looked at the boys. Too thin. Too quiet. He looked at the candle. Almost burned down. The cowboy reached into his saddlebag and pulled out what little he had: dried meat, bread, and a small pouch of coins. It wasn't much. But it was everything he could give. Eliza tried to refuse. He shook his head. "You won't survive the night without help." The wind slammed against the cabin walls as if proving his point. A promise in the snow. The cowboy stood up. "I'll be back by morning," he said. "There's a town 2 days' ride from here. I'll bring supplies, and a doctor." Eliza's voice cracked. "You don't know us." The cowboy paused at the door. "I know what it's like to be left behind." And with that, he stepped back into the storm. The long ride. The night fought him every step of the way. Snow blinded him. The cold numbed his hands. More than once, his horse nearly slipped into hidden drifts. But he rode on. Because behind him, in that cabin, 3 souls were waiting. And this time, he refused to fail. The longest night. Back in the cabin, Eliza fed the boys slowly. It was the first real food they'd had in days. Samuel whispered, "Mama, is he coming back?" She looked at the candle, now barely standing. "Yes," she said, though doubt clawed at her heart. Outside, the storm raged. Inside, hope flickered. Morning. The sun rose weak and pale over the mountains. The candle had burned down to nothing. Eliza wrapped the boys tighter, whispering prayers she wasn't sure anyone still heard. Then, a sound. Hooves. She rushed to the door. The return. The cowboy stood there, frost-covered, exhausted, but smiling. Behind him were two men from town, loaded with supplies, medicine, and warm blankets. Eliza fell to her knees. The boys laughed for the first time in weeks. That cabin, once forgotten, filled with warmth again. A life changed forever. The cowboy didn't leave that day. Or the next. He helped repair the cabin. He brought food regularly. And when spring came, he helped Eliza move closer to town. But he didn't just change their lives. They changed his. Because sometimes, all it takes to save a soul is stopping when you see a single light in the darkness. If this story moved you, remember this. Your kindness, no matter how small, can change someone's fate forever. Backhand index pointing right, like this video if you believe one good choice can change a life. Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful, emotional stories like this. Backhand index pointing right and comment below, would you have stopped that night?